Good morning. Good morning.
I don't know if it's good yet. I don't know. It's just things just refreshed for the Run Disney registration. Checking screens.
It's Run Disney registration. Heather has more than a dozen screens going on at this time.
None of them look very good. None of them look very good.
So, right at the time that we went live, is that when it refreshes the screens and tells you your position?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
And where's your green at?
Um. Okay. What had happened was it feels like I already did St. Patrick's Day because I went out on Saturday for the parade and the early morning beers, and it doesn't feel like today should be St. Patrick's Day.
I do have a pot of gold situation with Tinkerbell and the rainbow.
Rainbow.
All the colors are covered
Mm-hmm.
when it's a rainbow. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But I pinching you through the screen.
Which I will gladly take. I do deserve that. I should have remembered that today was St. Patrick's Day. My bad. But also petition to make it like Thanksgiving, where it's always on one day of the week. So can we make it always be on Saturday?
Preferably. Most holidays, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Midweek holidays, kind of confusing. Forces you to celebrate them with your coworkers.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's fine. But I think it would be fun to be able to always have it on the weekend where you can just go out and you don't have to worry about things.
Mm-hmm. If you're just joining, Heather has over 12 screens going for the Run Disney registration. And that is in the works. So basically, at the time that we went live is the time that the queue refreshes and tells you that you're in line.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give you a position?
No. And everyone that I'm talking to right now, like messages I see popping up are saying that theirs are more than an hour, which makes me wonder if like everyone's is sitting at more than an hour right now, if there's like a Disney glitch where if we're waiting for things to populate. So
Yeah. Keep us posted. You certainly have a large sample size of
uh-huh.
screens.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Um, yeah. So fingers crossed though. I was telling Shannon before we hit the button that every time I say to myself, this is the one that I really want. Um, and then like every race becomes the one that I really want, which doesn't make sense. Like everyone can't be the one that I really want, but I feel like deep in my heart that this is the one that I really want. And I will be sad if we don't get in.
Okay. Let us know how it goes. Today, we are going to talk about news items that have popped up. We're going to talk about our favorite ways to save money at Disney World. And then, if there are comments, we will have those at the end.
Mm-hmm.
However, before we get into that, I do need to know your opinion. As a croc wearer, how do you feel about the new Disney Crocs?
Okay, those are adorable.
Yeah, those are like fuzzy. They look like slippers
Uh-huh.
with Chip and Dale. And then you can see them in a different, see, they're cute. She's wearing them outside, I think, maybe. Let's see, we have different options here. But it's the Chip and Dale ones that I think are the extra cute ones.
Yeah, the Chip and Dale ones are freaking adorable. Are they fuzzy on the inside too? Can you tell?
I can't tell. I cannot tell. I don't know. You might be able to go on their website and see more.
And see. Well, those are adorable.
Yeah. I thought you needed to know about that.
I did need to know. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I do love me a good croc. So those are not good summer crocs, but those would definitely be good winter crocs.
Okay. What kind of news stuff do we have going on, Miss Thomas?
Not a whole bunch. First thing is that the weather in the Orlando area and Florida in general, I think large pieces, chunks of that part of the country, the weather has been just making things a little terrible recently. Yesterday we saw lots of flights that were being canceled because of weather, and then today it's cold enough that Blizzard Beach is closed.
Yes, and which is crazy in March. We're used to seeing that more in the winter months.
Mhm. So, definitely pay attention to those weather forecasts if you're heading down there right now. Make sure you're packing things.
I was perusing the MCO website yesterday because I wanted to see about all different flights, and it's a real mix of like canceled, delayed, some on time and some, you know, taking off
Yeah,
and landing the way they're supposed to. But it's been a real mix because of the weather.
nice. I mean, not so nice, but hopefully things clear up fast. Definitely don't need anything else contributing to airport snarls. Um, so if the weather could fix itself, that would be fantastic.
What else?
Today's the last day for Bob Iger.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bob.
Today's the last day. What if somebody just randomly said today's the last day for Heather Thomas?
Well,
What's happening to her?
it makes me that makes me feel scared and sad. I don't think we should say that. Let's rephrase it. Today is the last day for Bob Iger to be the chief executive officer of Walt Disney Company. Is that better?
That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. Josh tomorrow officially takes over tomorrow. So we look forward to that and seeing what happens there. And then something we didn't talk about yesterday that we probably should have, but that it's the Garden TV Lounge. It opens up on Thursday.
Yes, and we are hoping to get reservations for our late May trip because we got to do it.
Yes.
Will you dress up in tea attire or wear normal park clothes?
Can I do modified tea attire? I don't know what that is, but can I?
What you can do whatever you want.
I'm not. How about dress up like Mrs. Nesbit from Toy Story when Buzz does that?
I thought you were going to say Angela Lansbury, her teapot.
Oh, or that. Yes, I feel like that. Maybe that's more appropriate for me at my age.
Being a woman of a certain age.
Being a woman of a certain age, I can dress up like a teapot now.
Can we get a status on your Rent Disney screens?
I think we have one down to 19 minutes.
Okay.
So feeling a little nauseous at the moment. So 19 minutes on one, trying not to look at anybody because it's too stressful.
Okay. The Dopey, she's trying to register for the Dopey, which is 4 different races for January of 2027.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else on the news?
No, that is it for the news world today.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about our favorite ways to save at Disney World. I am very upset that Disney World costs so much money because we pay for our trips just like everyone else does.
Yes.
It really hits the budget. On top of that, the airlines are a mess for a lot of us. The prices are just nuts.
Yeah. It really starts to push these trips out of the realm of possibility. So figuring out ways to cut back a little bit and not hurt the quality of your trip is more important than ever.
Yes, absolutely. So are you ready to dive in to what is likely our number one favorite way to save money? Big amounts of money?
Sure.
Okay. So our number one favorite way to save money is by renting DVC points. And this process has some pros and cons, but the biggest pro is that you can save good money while staying at a deluxe resort, which is really nice. I'm dropping a link in the chat about how it works because I want to make sure everybody has the information. But basically, for people that don't know, you rent points from people that own them, kind of like a timeshare, and they let you stay with their points at a villa resort, which is a deluxe, deluxe and villa. Often the villa resorts are connected to regular deluxe resorts. And you pay all of it up front versus like a Disney World trip where you pay closer to your actual travel dates. And then you get all the benefits of a deluxe, which include extended evening theme park hours and just the amenities like nice pools and things like that.
Mhm.
You can buy it from a person that has points that is an owner, or you could do it through a company. We work through DVC Request, and they sort of act as a middle person between us and the owners. And there's a little bit of a security in that because then you know that it's more likely to be legit, not just an owner trying to take your money.
Mhm.
But anyway, so I want to make sure that everyone knows about this option. I recently did some different budgets for $5,000, and it was
Mhm.
different trip links, different travel dates, different resorts, and one of them, my favorite one on this list, was renting points. So of all of the 5 options that I put together, most of them were value resorts or offsite resorts, but one of them is actually a deluxe, and this is renting points at Old Key West and staying for 5 nights, which is a nice length of a trip,
Mhm.
and 4-day base tickets. It includes lightning lanes. Not all of them included that. And so I just really like that you can still stay deluxe and have a decent trip within that budget.
Mhm.
So that's one of my favorites. What else?
One of the ways that I have found, and something that I would do with my own family, for saving money involved dealing with food. In my mind, there are these pockets, these big expenditures that you have on trips, and it's your tickets and your hotel. And those you can't save a whole bunch. You can save some on your tickets, and you can definitely save a whole bunch on your hotel for renting DVC points.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when it comes to food, there's such a variance of how much you can spend. You can spend a little bit or you can spend a lot depending on where you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that you don't have to always do every character meal. You don't have to do the Disney dining plan. You can choose to eat breakfast in your room. Maybe if you want to do like one nice breakfast out, do that. You can share meals. There are plenty of restaurants where those portion sizes are big, and it also lets you try more things when you can, share your meals. Um, having buying water and having it in your room, if you have a family of 4 and you each straight need 2 bottles of water a day, that's a big chunk of change over a 5-day trip. So being smart in general about how you're going to handle your food while you're there is an easy way to save some money, to really cut back.
Yeah, and I've never been the kind of save money person that's like, let me make some peanut butter sandwiches and take them to the
Mhm.
parks. But there's still ways to save money, like
Mhm.
eating your breakfast in the room and splitting meals. That's what we do every trip.
Mhm.
So that really, and then just focusing on the things that are worth a splurge, but
Yeah.
not necessarily doing them all the time.
Yes,
But yeah.
I like that worth a splurge thing, because if it's something that you could get at home,
Hmm.
you know, is that really where you wanna spend your money? If it's something you're not super excited about, do you really wanna spend your money on that? Maybe think about ways that you can focus on the things that are worth it, that are special or unique to Disney World, and save the things that are just anything that you could get at home for where you're gonna cut back.
So I there's a new trip report. There's a new podcast episode up today, which is a trip report with a woman named Amy, and she went with her friend or her sister and their kids. So they had 2 different rooms, and they got the quick service dining plan on one of the rooms, and then they didn't have the dining plan on the other room. So what they did was the kids were kind of picky eaters, so they got
Mhm.
groceries delivered and then just took easy sandwiches and snacks with them into the parks. And then the 2 adults, the sisters, they use quick service dining plan credits to get themselves meals because they're like, this is how we eat. Like,
Yeah,
this is what makes sense. So they figured it out, for them. And they really maximized their quick service credits that they had.
that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Hmm. What else? So far, we've had hotel and food.
Yes. Another one is, especially this is especially true for people if you've never been to Disney World before. You may not realize how easy it is to get around without having to rent a car. So if you're somebody who is flying in to Orlando, do not feel like you need to rent a car. there's several options to get you from MCO to the hotel if you're staying on property. And once you're on property, Disney transportation is very efficient and it works well. Now, if you're staying offsite, I would say it makes maybe some more sense to go ahead and rent a car, just because it is the offsite hotels aren't going to have the same kind of transportation options that the onsite ones will. But if you are staying at if you're staying on Disney World property, you are going to have no issues getting around. And that's including if you have little ones who are in strollers or car seats, you're going to be fine on property without renting a car.
And we have a navigator tool, the WDW Navigator, where you put your starting point and your destination, and we tell you what we think is the best way to get there. And I love it because the Disney one, although it could be good, is not. And so we tell you how to use the Disney transportation to get there, different options, and then also information about if you want a more direct route, how that all works. So if you want to get some navigational help, make sure you look up the WDW Prep Navigator.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Um, I said that, tickets are kind of like the fixed price. And once a ticket, like the ticket, you can't save a whole bunch. You can buy slightly discounted tickets. You should never, ever buy tickets from anything other than an authorized reseller. That's a very risky thing. And might end up with a ticket that doesn't work. But when you go to buy your tickets, make sure you're only purchasing the things that you actually need on your ticket. And I'm talking about things like adding park hopper,
Mm-hmm.
adding the water parks. Only do that if you're absolutely positive that you're going to want to use it, or better yet, wait until you get there, because for your tickets, you can add those on, but you can't take them back. And it's kind of common to think, oh, I'm going to want to park hop every day. And then you actually arrive and you realize that maybe you aren't into park hopping, you want to stay in a park, and you actually never use that perk on your ticket. Well, you don't get your money back. So you've just spent that money and you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah. And hoppers aren't just one day. And I think
Mm-mm.
some people think that, well, I want to hop on the third day of my trip and that's it. But hoppers are flat fee on top of your whole ticket. So you get it the whole trip or not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the reasons, like when we have a planning process, like you pick your dates, you pick your hotel, and then make your daily plan about where you're going to be. Once you figured out your daily plan of where you're going to be, that can help figure out if you even need hoppers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your every day you're going to be is just one park per day, that's just a base ticket.
Yes, you
No,
don't.
no hoppers needed. I would say most people for their first trip don't need hoppers.
I would agree. I would agree. And if you are looking at your trip plans and you're down to having something sketched out where you only need park hopper for one day, maybe take a step back and think about, is there a way you can rework your plan so that you can avoid that? If it's one person, adding park hopper for one day, maybe not that big a deal. But again, if you're talking about a family of 4, a family of 5, that can be a big chunk of change.
We do often recommend it for traveling between mid-August and Christmas because of all
Mm-hmm.
the parties. It's almost necessary to optimize around Magic Kingdom and their early closures. Also, if you're staying at a hotel where you are within walking distance or sight of a park, I think it's nice to have park hoppers because I think it feels weird to not be able to go into a park that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
So park hopper tickets make sense for that. Or if you're taking like a short trip and you need to fit in, all the parks in just a couple of days, then hopping is the best way to do that.
Yes.
Can we get a status update?
Let me check. Status update.
We have some a few minutes away, 20 minutes away. We have multiple things working right now.
We have several that
Okay.
are like within a few minutes. We have 3 within a few minutes. So
Okay.
I'm starting to breathe a little bit. But I feel like my face is all flushed and red, and I will probably need a 5-minute break after this is all over just to.
This is such a good visual, though, of what it's like to be in the Disney space. In this case, it's Run Disney, and Heather and others are trying to register for the January races,
Yes.
plural
Yes.
races,
Yeah, for the big one, the Disney World Marathon weekend. So,
which you've never done before, right?
yes, Jenny is at 2 minutes.
Okay. And she's going to register for everybody?
Yep, she's gonna help us out. So,
Okay, keep us posted. We're getting close.
yeah, I'm gonna vomit. Not I'll turn the camera off if that
Okay,
happens.
it's so nice.
I might even mute it. Okay, so what else, Shannon?
Other ways to save money?
Yeah,
I don't know. Those are my favorites.
those are my favorites too. And I think those are all ways, like we were talking about earlier, that you can save without feeling like you're having to count every penny. There's nothing wrong with counting every penny, but sometimes it's nice to go away on vacation and not have to worry about tracking every last expenditure down to the penny or the dime. Um, so knocking out some of these big ones, you'll have an impact on your overall budget without making it feel like you're being a cheapskate or just scrimping on a fantastic trip.
I'm going to rattle off some quick ones that don't require discussion.
Mhm.
While you go check on the status of your stuff if you need to.
Okay.
One, you can buy Disney merch before your trip. So if you don't want to necessarily buy shirts in the parks or whatever, you could get them at stores that carry Disney merch, Amazon. I used to buy them on eBay all the time. You can skip souvenirs altogether if you are not interested in spending that kind of money. You can bring your own snacks, which we kind of already talked about, but you can bring them in the parks, not just in your room. You can use your Costco membership to save some money. You can sometimes purchase discounted gift cards there. You can save on rental cars. That's where we book ours, is through Costco Travel. And occasionally you can do on rooms. I think Costco is better to save on other things like Disney Cruise Line. You can use a refillable water bottle if you don't want to buy water. The parks vary in how well they provide these refill stations. Some are better than others. Um, you can use, instead of using Disney's PhotoPass service and paying for photos, you can just hand your camera to the PhotoPass photographers and have them take photos on your phone. You won't get magic shots, which are edited, but you can still get photos. You can use credit cards with reward points, and you can bring your own rain gear. So if it rains and you find yourself scrambling to the store to get ponchos, well, you can bring those and keep them in your bag instead of spending $10, $12, whatever it is, per poncho. So there you go. How about that?
That's great.
That's that's great.
I love them all.
Okay. Let's talk to the people. All right, Christine, go Heather, go.
Thank you, Christine.
Jess says I'm having FOMO, but I really planned not to do marathon weekend this year. Kelsey, hello, hello. Jinx says hi. And Jinx is coming to Disney soon over spring break. Uh, um, what else? We've got Sarah sending you good luck for registration. My husband is home trying to get him and our daughter in the 10K, and he said one screen has 20 minutes.
I think they're going to make it then. Yay.
Yes. Jessica, good morning, Jessica. DVC request is the best. We've used them a handful of times with no issues. Megan says, hello, ladies.
Good morning.
Kelsey says, I absolutely love listening to your podcast. Where do you inquire to be on it? Our trip isn't until June. So, in the show notes of every episode, there is information on how to submit, and it is leaving a voicemail on speakpipe.com/WDW prep to go. That is the only way to get on the podcast. We do have a lot of submissions, multiple every day, and we only get to pick a few per month. So, please do submit. June, that's like 3 months away, 2.5 months away. It's a good time to submit. And then if it fits in our schedule, then somebody on my team will reach out to you. Okay. Any update, Heather?
I'm not hearing much from Ginny because Ginny is in our usual group. It's Ginny, Felicia, and I. For people who don't know, who usually do these races, I am not hearing from her, so I'm guessing she's registering. Felicia says she thinks she's registering, so
that's the silence.
Yes. So usually the way we approach this is like if I get in, I register myself first, and then I would register Felicia, and then and Ginny, or whichever order. And we also do it for people who are new to doing this. We look at who's doing what races and which races tend to sell out first. So that's a little behind the scenes of how we do that, just to keep it fair. for who's going to actually get in, or if like we know somebody really 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 wants to do it and somebody just doesn't care whether or not, like they'll do it if they get in, but if they don't, then they get pushed down in the queue of who's going to get registered. But
For people that don't know, Heather is trying to register for the Dopey Challenge, which is doing 4 races in a row. But Jess wants to know, how did you get over the mental jump to go to Dopey?
it was very easy. I thrive off of challenges, I think. And I love a medal. And you put a challenge that you get a medal at the end, and it's pretty amazing. And I do think having several successful runs where I came out on the other side and felt like I could go further, I could do more, made it easier to think that I could do Dopey. So had a couple really great half marathons. I know it's twice as long to go the full marathon, but I've got a lot of time between now and then to build up those miles and to build up the ability to do multiple days in a row. And I have 2 years of working on this. I think I can do it. I think I can do it for another year at least.
Yeah, because is this the only one with the full marathon?
Mhm.
Okay, of all the Run Disney races, it's the January one that is the only one with the full. All the others are like 5K, 10K, half.
5K, 10K half, or 5K, 10K, 10 mile.
Okay, 10 miles seems like a fun distance.
Yes, it honestly it really is, because it's only 3 miles less than a half, but it's amazing how much more I don't know, less tired you are at 10. It's just it's a mental thing, I think. Just think 10 miles versus a half marathon.
I feel like you're still really strong
Yeah.
at that point because you're used to it. So, okay, well, we're gonna drop off, and hopefully you'll have good news. And we'll be back tomorrow to answer questions. We have Instagram Q&A up today, so if you want to ask a question there, I answer about 25 on Instagram, and then whatever is left, we answer on Wednesday here.
I'm in.
You're in the Dopey?
Yep.
Yay! That's very exciting.
My face is so red. Get yourself friends who want to do stupid things like run 48 or however many miles this is together, because that's wild. Oh
It's
my,
that's a healthy kind of stupid.
yeah.
So awesome. Okay, well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be here tomorrow to answer more questions. But if you want to submit a question, feel free to hop over on Instagram, and we'll either answer it there or here.
Yeah.
So we'll see you tomorrow.